Frank Gehry wasn't just an architect, he was the force who changed how the world sees buildings. And today, at 96 years old, he has passed away at his home in Santa Monica after a short respiratory illness. A quiet goodbye from a man whose imagination reshaped cities across the globe. His journey started far from international fame. Born Frank Owen Goldberg in Toronto, he moved to Los Angeles as a young man, unsure of what his life would become. But in time, he discovered a creative spark that set him apart. While others followed architectural rules, Gehry questioned them. He wanted forms that moved, shapes that felt alive, and designs that reflected the chaos and beauty of real life. One of his boldest early moves came with something no one expected: his own house. It was a simple, ordinary home until he transformed it into a patchwork of metal sheets, exposed edges, and unexpected angles. Neighbors were shocked. Critics argued. But Gehry didn't mind. This strange, raw creation became the beginning of an entirely new design language. Then came the masterpiece that made him a global icon: the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao. When it opened in 1997, no one had ever seen anything like it. A flowing titanium sculpture rising from a fading industrial port, the building didn't just attract visitors, it revived a whole city. The world called it the Bilbao effect, proof that architecture could spark economic and cultural transformation. And Gehry kept delivering wonders. The Walt Disney Concert Hall in Los Angeles, gleaming like a ship made of steel. The IAC building in New York, shimmering like frozen waves. 8. Spruce Street, a tower that folds and swirls like fabric caught in the wind. Every project carried the same signature: daring, emotional, unafraid. Of course, fame brought criticism. Some people said his projects were too flashy, too unconventional, too dramatic for everyday use. Others accused him of creating landmarks only for attention. Gehry rarely responded. He preferred humor, joking about how people really believed he designed buildings by crumpling paper and copying the shape. For him, creativity was simply instinct, the same curiosity he had as a child building models in his grandfather's hardware shop. Even in his later years, Gehry never slowed down. He designed museums, academic buildings, art centers, even tech offices for companies like Facebook. He earned every major architecture award imaginable, including the prestigious Pritzker Prize. Yet he always insisted that architecture wasn't about fame. "You enter the field to make life better," he once said. Everything else, he joked, comes afterward. His personal story shaped him, too. He changed his name from Goldberg to Gehry after facing anti-Semitism. He struggled through school, studied ceramics before buildings, experienced grief and hardship, and poured those emotions into his work. Maybe that's why his buildings never feel cold. They're full of movement, tension, and heart. Today, Gehry leaves behind his wife, Berta, his children, and a portfolio that has changed how the world thinks about design. But more importantly, he leaves behind a philosophy that buildings are not just structures, they're experiences. They can break rules. They can surprise you. They can feel human. Frank Gehry is no longer with us. But the forms he created, rising, twisting, shining, will keep reminding the world that imagination has no limits.